Hi love, I'm Jeannine Yoder, the creator and founder of the most personal, high-touch, and soulful life coach training program for women, Mentor Masterclass. And I'm meeting you here today in this moment as part of this brand new 4-part podcast series that's all about how to get started as a successful life coach, absolutely everything that you need to know, plus clear action steps that you can take starting today. This is episode 4 in the series, and it's all about how to start a life coaching business. In episode 1, we answered the 4 main questions everyone who wants to become a life coach considers. What does a life coach do? Do you need training to become a life coach? How long does it take? And how much do life coaches make? In episode 2, I answered the big question, how do you choose the best life coach training school? And in episode 3, I answered how to get coaching clients. So if those questions speak to you, you can listen to the previous episodes. And if you're ready, I want to dig right into how to start a life coaching business. So I've discovered that there are 12 pretty big steps, 11 of them main, and the 12th will be some bonus insights that you want to take to really cover all the bases of starting a life coaching business. And the first one is the biggest one, and it's probably the most personal and the hardest in some regard, because number 1 is establishing coaching as your life purpose and committing to it. And I want to tell you a little bit about my family story and how I knew coaching was my purpose. I think it's important that you meet this side of me in the last podcast series of this episode, because you'll see that even if our stories aren't the same, we share a common bond, our deep desire to live our lives as coaches. We both feel the deep desire to respond to life's invitation so we can live our purpose. And I also want to tell you how you can meet some of the women in my Mentor Masterclass Life Coach Training Program and hear about how they also discovered their purpose as coaches and how they decided to commit. The reason this is important as step number 1 to starting a life coaching business is because if you don't establish that coaching is your purpose, and if you don't feel 100% committed, you won't have the drive, interest, passion, confidence, and the soulful grounding beneath this calling in your life to move through all the challenges that will come up with steps 2 through 12. You really want to be in a place of fully believing that coaching is your purpose. And the beautiful thing is, if you listen to episode 2, and you choose or have chosen the best life coach training program for you, as part of the training, you should be taught life purpose techniques. And if you work with a coach, you should also be able to be taken through this technique, and that will help you to decide if coaching is for you. I'll share with you that I have somewhat always known that coaching was for me, and you might find some of these parallels in your own life as well. I grew up with 2 parents who were drug addicts, and as they entered into recovery, which they both attempted to do, I went to many Narcotics Anonymous meetings growing up as a child. And as I sat there in those rooms with people who had hit rock bottom in their life, and they used community tools to come together and workbooks to teach them new ways of living, and committed to showing up and practicing having a better life, I really believe this is where my interest for coaching began. I also believe that we all have undercurrent soul themes and contracts of people in our life and challenging experiences that happen to us that are meant and designed to bring us to our path, to show us what our calling is, to wake us up to our unique gifts and our purpose in this lifetime. And as I learned about this throughout my life, my first career was that of an actress. I was a musical theater performer and pursued a dream of being a performing artist on Broadway. And what drew me to that career is very much some of the same things that has brought me to becoming a successful life coach. I ran my one-on-one life coaching business and achieved 6 figures within the first 14 months of discovering this career and becoming a coach. I was featured in a New York Times article when I made the shift to become a coach, that had women from around the world reaching out to me asking, how can I become a successful life coach too? And it was through that experience that Mentor Masterclass, my all-in life coach training program, was born. And the reason I pursued performing arts was because I loved creating characters, and I loved standing in front of an audience and inspiring them through music, through art, through dance, through storytelling, to see that there are greater things possible in our life. And musicals really explored the beautiful joy of life and the range of what people can achieve, and there's often a heroine in the story. And that's what I loved about performing. It was inspiring the audience, but I also loved creating the characters and understanding what made them who they were. And I've always had this deep interest in people, and I've also always had a deep passion for understanding what holds some women particularly back in mediocre lifestyles because of my relationship to my mom and her challenge ever be creating a successful life because of her addictions, her pain, her suffering. And more recently, my mom passed away and still lost in her addiction in a traumatic way, alone in her home, very much a result of having an addiction to pills and alcohol for many, many years and never being able to overcome it the way my father had. And so I've asked myself this deep question: what is it that makes some women feel like the victim of their life circumstances versus other women who rise up to become leaders, have careers that they love, use their passion, skills, gifts, and talents to heal from their wounds and give back to the world? And ultimately, this is how I arrived at transforming my career as a struggling artist, where I would be on top of the world on Broadway one day, to wanting to have a career where I could make great money, have time and location freedom to have the life that I want to live, which is one now where I am able to be home with my children. I have 2 little girls, and to travel the world with my husband, who was able to quit his job when I started my coaching career, and to be able to make money, great money, doing work that I love. So over the past 7 years, I've been leading a 6-figure plus business, almost $1 million coaching business now, and doing that in a way where I work 21 hours or less a week, get to travel, stay home with my children, and do work I truly love. And all of this really came from first starting out when I was looking about, do I want to become a life coach? Is this the right career change for me? It was so hard to leave behind my passion of musical theater and performing that I'd worked my whole life to become successful in, and to say I'm willing to start something new without having any online experience or any true training as a coach. And the first thing you want to really feel is that this is your purpose, and that no matter what, if you go into this endeavor, you're doing it because you want to discover if it is your purpose. You feel a sense of synchronicity, alignment, and you're ready to fully commit, and you're ready to do what it takes to get to the other side of experiencing, is life coaching a career for you? If you're able to see those connections in your life purpose and draw those lines and fully commit yourself to going through the process of becoming a coach, the best thing about the idea of becoming a coach is no matter if you ever do become successful at it, the training itself is going to change your life. It's going to make you a more resourced, empowered, better person. And so right there, you're going to move out of victim and into a leadership role in your own life and become really successful through learning the training of coaching. So once you've seen and connected the dots and asked yourself, does this feel like a calling? Is it my life purpose? Am I ready to commit to this? Then you're ready to get to step 2 of how to start a life coaching business. And that is to get the best life coach training. You want high quality training because coaching is not about giving advice or about being the answer man. Coaching is about being highly skilled in understanding the neurolinguistics programming of the human mind, our body, our soul, and spirit, and energy system, and how it all works. With high quality training, you'll learn tools, techniques, and conversation models that will give you the confidence to transform lives. You also want to get training with experts in the field that can teach you tricks and tips so you can learn from their mistakes. In my signature life coach training program, I work with women and introduce them to 12 celebrity mentors, men and women who've created successful coaching business in different ways, to teach you the shortcuts and to help you get the best life coach training. Now, I also go over if Mentor Masterclass is not the right life coach training program for you, make sure you listen to episode 2 of this series where I go through everything you need to know to get the best life coach training. And that's step number 2 in starting a coaching business. Step number 3 is to hire a coach yourself. If you ever want to get good at actually selling your coaching services and convincing people that coaching is a worthwhile investment, then you should have personal experience and have hired a coach. Better yet, hire a coach who really coaches coaches. I am known as the coach's coach, so many women will hire me because I have the experience not only of high-level tools and techniques to give you the best coaching that you deserve to go through transformation, which will become magnetizing, and call clients in to help you become a paid coach, but also the business skills to help you work through what challenges will come up in the first year of building your business. You want to be supported, and if you are investing in a coach, you will have the skills you need to teach other people to invest in you, and then you'll have a lucrative paid coaching business begun by the time you get to step 3. Step 4 is to get coaching clients. You obviously won't have a business if you don't have clients. So step 4 is focusing on getting coaching clients. And if you want to go into this deeper, you can listen to episode 3 from this series, How to Get Coaching Clients, where I teach you everything you need to know to get coaching clients. Step number 5 is establishing a niche. Once you've gotten some coaching clients that you're working with one-on-one and you're making some income in your business, now you're ready to really scale your life coaching business. This means you have a business that has been started, but you're making it more professional, more legit, more real. If you've had coaching clients and experience, and by the way, you'll learn in episode 3 that there are 3 versions of coaching clients. There are free, trade, and paid. Once you've went through that cycle, you're going to have everything you know to establish your zone of genius, who you serve as a coach, what kind of niche market is your market. And when you know this, when you know the skills, gifts, talents, and qualifications that you use best, who they serve, how you serve them, and why you serve them, this helps you to establish your corner of the coaching industry and really helps your coaching business stand out from anyone else and helps you to have a successful life coaching business. So number 5 is establishing your niche and knowing what community and market you serve, which again, I go into deeper details in this in episode 3, so listen to that if you have not. Step number 6 is now you're ready to name your business. Some coaches make the mistake of thinking this is what you need to do first. Name your business, get a website, all that stuff. You don't need any of that until you have done the first 5 steps that I mentioned before. Now you're ready to actually give your business a name. Once you've named your business, and for most coaches, you're going to end up naming your business your name. Now, by this time, you'll be confident in that and you'll know why you are an expert and you'll be ready to name your business by your name. The only reason you wouldn't call your business by your name is if you ever were going to sell your business or have someone else run your business for you, meaning you were going to step out in some way. So for example, my overall coaching business is Jeannine Yoder, and my programs or services that other people may run one day is called Mentor Masterclass. That's a separate business that I run within my coaching business. So step 6 is to name your business, and if you want a fun tagline, you can give yourself a tagline with that. That could be something like Jeannine Yoder, the coach's coach, or your name, and then life purpose coaching for women, something like that. So step 6, name your business. Number 7 is decide your business structure. This means make it professional. So you might use a lawyer or you could use some easy systems online like LegalZoom.com to create your business structure. And what I mean by that is, are you an LLC? Are you an S Corp? Are you a sole proprietor? You can work through deciding what your business structure is actually going to be. And that will also help you to establish whether you are brick and mortar in person or you run mostly online. And as you make that decision, you'll also start to get clear about some of your taxing structures and write-offs and other things that will make you an official life coaching business. Now, the reason this is at step 7 and not step 1 or 2 is because the only real reason you need to establish yourself as a LLC, sole proprietor, S Corp is for tax purposes. And until you're making lucrative income as a coach, $25,000 or more, you really don't need to invest in this part of making your business official. What this does for you is it makes your business official and allows you to be protected from being sued in your personal assets if that was ever to happen, and it allows you to have a clear tax refund and processes, which isn't necessary until you're really making money as a coach. That's why we put it at step 7. Now, an LLC is usually the best way to start out. What this means is that if someone ever sued you through your business practices, then basically they could not go after your personal assets and they could only go after any income within the business, which is a great separation to make. On top of that, when you're becoming a life coach, there are tons of beautiful and exciting write-offs. In fact, your life coach training is one of those things. If you get really amazing training as a life coach, then you can write that off on your taxes and it becomes free as part of your first business investment. So it's helpful to start a business structure when you're ready, when you're in your first life coach training program. And I teach all my students how to do this so that their investment in the program is free. If you want to look deeper into choosing the best life coach training school, make sure you listen to episode 2 in this series. Now, number 8, and this should really be a part of your life coach training school as well. It's something that I teach all of my students and that we walk through. It's also why my program is 1 year long, because I want to make sure that in my life coach training program, I take women through all 12 of the steps that you're learning today, step by step, with all the resources, tools, techniques, apps, automation, connections with other industry leaders or connections to the people who can support them so they can move through these really quickly in the first few months of the training. So number 8 is deciding on how you're going to be of service. What this means is, are you going to lead your sessions primarily at home from the home office? Are you going to do it mostly online, or are you going to be in person? This will also help you set up some other platforms and ways of serving and place things that need to be in place to have a successful life coaching business and to start one, which brings me to number 9. You want to choose your platform and way of serving. So what that means is, know whether or not you're offering one-on-one coaching sessions, group coaching sessions, a mastermind that runs virtually or in person. You may have products that run live or are evergreen. You may do speaking as a part of your coaching business, write a book, and you may do all of this online or in person. So you'll want to be really clear about choosing your platform and your way of service. And what this really means is you're creating a business model. I have a training that I will also link to in the episode notes of this episode about creating a feminine business model. If you are a woman, you want to make sure you're creating the foundation of your business, your way of being of service, in a way that honors your life. Your life and your cycles are different of that than a man. And that's why a masculine life coach training school or training with only male mentors can be detrimental to your success in starting a life coaching business. You want to make sure that you're honoring your feminine cycle, recognizing that you react to the gravity of the moon. Our cycle each month when we bleed, we go through 4 different hormonal cycles that affect our mood, the way our brain works, our energy levels, and our emotional range. You want to be building a platform and a way of serving that's a unique expression of your gifts and talents and your cycle, not only on a monthly basis, but also on a yearly basis. You'll notice that you have a reaction to the seasons, your own unique energy and flow. And in my life coach training program, Mentor Masterclass, I make sure that women are creating a business model that's both masculine in structure and security, but feminine in grace, flow, and emotion. So it honors you and never asks you to power or push through. So number 9 is not only just choosing your platform and your way of serving, but also honoring the feminine in you in the process. Now, number 10 is don't be a lone warrior. Don't be a lone warrior, meaning get support and be connected in the industry. You want to find a sisterhood within the wellness and coaching industry. You want to make sure that you're getting out there, meeting people, establishing friendships and joint venture partnerships with other successful women and like-minded women. So a great way to do this is hopefully your life coach training program does this for you. And if not, join a mastermind or get a coach or go to a retreat that would offer you the opportunity to get connected, to have mentorship, and to have support. I'll put some links in the show notes episode for retreats that I lead, masterminds that I lead, and also you can opt into my newsletter where I can connect you with women from around the world in our private Facebook group who are building successful coaching businesses and help you to establish and move through step 10 of starting a life coaching business. 2 more to go. Number 11. If you've done all of that, you're ready to scale your business to next level success. And what that means is starting to look at different revenue streams based off your original choice. So if you start your life coaching business like most people do with one-on-one coaching and offerings, then you will be ready to consider adding other streams of income to that and scaling your business to next level success. If you haven't listened to the first episode in this series, What Does a Life Coach Do? Or episode 3, How to Get Coaching Clients, there will be a lot of great insight into steps you can take to get ready for scaling your business to next level success. Now, let's get to the final bonus insights. Number 12 are some bonus insights, some extra secrets coming from me being a successful coach now for over almost 10 years. And really some of these questions that I want you to think about are, how do I start an online coaching business? Does a life coach need a business license? How do I market my coaching business? How do I start a home-based coaching business? How do I start a 6-figure coaching business in 2020? And how do I start a coaching business that actually makes money? So let's go through these kind of quickly. But what I want to invite you to do is to follow me on my newsletter at JeannineYoder.com. Every week, I send out a podcast episode where I'm sharing resources, tools, and techniques that'll go really deep into some of these questions and support you along the way of building your coaching business. So if you want to start an online coaching business, the first thing I would like you to try is my free Self-Discovery Week training. It's a 7-day training that shows you exactly how to get started online. And it shows you other women who are doing it, so you can see some businesses and mentors and examples of how women run successful online coaching businesses. But the beautiful thing you need to know is all you need to get started online is access to the internet and a laptop. And then really, you're going to begin by coaching clients virtually. You can do this using a free conference calling line or a video conference calling line. And then when you're ready, which would be closer to step 9, where I said choosing your platform and way of being of service, whether it's online or in person, that's after you've done steps 1 through 8 in this episode, then you'll be ready to do something like start a website. So to get started online, you would just need to buy a domain and then use that domain and set up a website. In my life coach training program, Mentor Masterclass, I teach you all the apps, processes, software that you need to get to do that in the least expensive way. In fact, you can get started online as a business coach for less than $100 a month for all the tools and techniques and systems and structures you need to get started. And does a life coach need a business license? I talk about this in What Does a Life Coach Do, the first episode, but in short, no. There's no nationally recognized certification for becoming a coach, but you should still get high-level training like the training I offer in Mentor Masterclass. To market your coaching business, you really want to begin by walking your talk and by putting yourself out there as a coach, in person and online. And I go into this question much deeper as well in How to Get Coaching Clients, episode number 3. How do I start a home-based coaching business? All you need is a laptop and a phone, and you're ready to get started from home. The other thing that's amazing is once you follow step number 7, your business structure, getting that put up and deciding whether you're an LLC, etc. And by the way, I recommend LegalZoom for that. They're great about helping you decide and getting started, and it can take you less than a day to do so. In order to start a home-based coaching business, you are able to write off part of your home because you'll be working from home, which is awesome. Something else I teach deeper about, and I even have lawyers who are mentors in my program that meet with you and help you understand all the logistics of starting a coaching business. But to get started, you really just need a phone line that you can use and great internet, and you'll be ready to go. Now, if you want to start a 6-figure coaching business in 2020, what you really need to know is marketing has changed and there is way more effort needed to be innovative as the coaching industry is now shifted. What used to work doesn't work anymore. So you also want to make sure when you're choosing a life coach training program that you choose the best one that's up to date and includes personal mentorship with someone who's going to teach you what's changed in the industry. So you need to know and work with a coach or mentor who has experience and knows what is working and what is relevant right now moving into these new years in the coaching industry. And if you want to know how to start a coaching business that actually makes money, then the key to that is getting coaching clients. Listen to episode 3 in this series, How to Get Coaching Clients. As always, I want to hear from you. I hope that you've listened to not only today's episode and feel more confident about how to start a coaching business, but also that you've listened to the full series. And if you have, it's been a pleasure to meet you here, answer all of your questions, and support you. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure that you go to my free Mentor Masterclass Self-Discovery Week training. It's available right now. It's 7 days of soulful practices to help you become a successful life coach. You can click over and experience it for yourself and actually step into the role of a coach this week and experience what it would be like to have my mentorship, support, and get connected with women around the world who are starting successful coaching businesses. So you don't have to do this alone and you can feel connected. I want to hear from you, so if you could respond to this episode, you can either tag me on Instagram at Jeannine.Yoder or comment on the blog or leave a review on the episode so that I know how this series has worked for you and if you feel supported. And of course, if you have any further questions that haven't been addressed in the series, I'd love to hear that. Show notes and links for the episode and sisterhood with other listeners can be found at JeannineYoder.com. I release new podcasts every Wednesday called Walk With Me, and other resources, gifts, support, VIP access that I don't share anywhere else online when you sign up for my newsletter at JeannineYoder.com. And if right now you want to get connected with me live, I have a webinar running called How to Start and Grow a Thriving Coaching Business. In this free masterclass, you're going to discover the skills, self-confidence, and inner trust to build a coaching practice with heart, soul, and feminine power. So in the description of this episode, you'll find a link to that live training. I hope you can join me. And thank you so much for being in the inquiry and the devotion of discovery about whether coaching is for you. I deeply believe that the more women in our world who are trained as coaches, the better lit worlds we will live in and the more resourced we will be to solve greater world problems. I think it's a beautiful career and profession. That's why I've devoted myself to serving women who are aspiring and established coaches in really grounding into your success, loving your career, and creating time and location freedom. Thank you for being a part of this series. I hope to stay connected with you through JeannineYoder.com newsletter and through mentormasterclass.com. Hopefully, I might get a chance to even work with you for a year in the year-long program Mentor Masterclass. Thanks for listening, and the best of luck and all the love for you as you pursue your dream to become a life coach.